Yeah.
And we are on the air. Boys, be quiet. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be in this bright, wonderful world we call home. It is once again the Aloha Hour. I am your humble host, Mike S. Miller. With me once again as my co-host, the great, the mighty, the deep-voiced, and wit.
Aloha. I'm here to rock you like a hurricane. We're actually getting one tomorrow, so it's appropriate.
Yeah, funny. Eric's coming in. I'll let you intro, John.
Hey, I am John Delarose, the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction, creator of Flying Sparks, which this is its last day. So please go on Indiegogo and check out Flying Sparks if you haven't already. I have a feeling that our fan base is crossover to almost 100% Mike. So maybe it's a little late for that. But if you haven't, please go check it out. This is the end of it. I'd love for you guys to back my book.
Yeah, it's funny. Going on Ethan's stream doesn't help me anymore.
Ethan got me $1,000 tonight, so
did he? Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah, going on there. I don't know. It's because I'm in the store mode or what, but it's like sometimes it costs me money going on his stream. So.
Ooh.
You gotta bring back the headband. Everybody loves the headband.
Where's? Oh, it's in the bathroom.
I really think that is the source of your woes, that you've come on. You've essentially come on naked and unadorned, right? Because you don't have your
draw a big red dot right
here. You brought shame to your family.
Oh, come in that side. All right. So what I was cooking dinner for the last hour and a half and eating. We had some lovely barbecue ribs, but they take a really long time to cook on the barbecue. So I missed. What was the last hour and a half you guys were talking about?
This is the fun stuff.
Yeah, let me pull this up. This is Lemire. John, why don't you talk about who he is a little bit while I get the tweet pulled up?
So Jeff Lemire is one of those indie guys he's been one of those hardworking guys who came up himself, kind of did the indie thing. Best known for, I think, Descender and Sweet Tooth and a lot of different indie projects. He writes kind of deeper stories that are really interesting, and I've always enjoyed them for a long time. And he got hooked up with Valiant, and I've been a big Valiant supporter since their comeback. And he's been sort of in charge of Bloodshot for a very long time and did a great job with that. He's gotten into Marvel lately with the new Sentry series. And tonight, he kind of came out against all of us as readers.
Really?
Yeah. And in a nasty way, too.
Yeah, I saw. Was it just that one paragraph he said?
Let's see.
Are you going to share it? You're going to share it.
I should have it shared. Is it shared?
There it is.
Okay, so this is from Jeff Lemire. And he said, Comicsgate is based on fear, intolerance, bigotry, and anger. The comics creators emerging today are too talented, too smart, and too loud to be beaten by these weak people. It's time we all started standing up for one another. My response to him is that, yes, it is based on fear, intolerance, bigotry, and anger. And meaning that fear, intolerance, bigotry, and anger that was displayed to consumers and creators who didn't want to express this particular, if you don't have the correct leftist progressive politics, you're not going to work at Marvel. It's not going to happen. Not as a writer or editor. I don't know how converged DC is yet. I suspect it's not far behind, because there seems to be this constant pressure to silence anybody who's doesn't have the right political orientation.
Yeah. Well, how did he get so many freaking retweets on that?
Ethan is right. Ethan was talking about how these attacks today just have to be coordinated. I mean, it's just too clean. This statement reads like a press release. It reads like something scripted. It wasn't in haste. It was somebody put thought into this, and said it in a way that's very, hitting all the right keywords, right?
Mm.
So I think this is just, I think it's, I don't know if they've got a Discord channel or a Facebook chat where they're coordinating this sort of thing, but it really seems like, they're really trying to push right now to try to just like, I don't know what they're intending on doing, because it just gives us more publicity. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, I just wish some of these people would stop in and just watch a Comicsgate live chat or an Aloha hour or anything to inform themselves about what this movement is actually about, or just read whatiscomicsgate.com. It's not that hard. But they just are they afraid of us?
Well, I think this is a sign right here. This type of response. This is a sign now that Comicsgate is being taken very seriously. That they believe that we are a very real threat to the status quo of the industry, right? And I think this is, and I've been saying this for a little bit. When I realized how successful and how much passion and hunger people had for stuff that's being made and for the community and the fellowship that's being provided for people, I said they're going to start getting angry as they see this, as they see all these different projects succeed, as they see this movement grew. They're going to get angrier and angrier, and it's going to track with the success. And because there's collusion and coordination with some of these media outlets, I suspect we'll start seeing sometime very soon. We'll see a mainstream media piece on Comicsgate, and it will be much like the Jim Jeffries piece was on diversity in comics.
Well,
The
that's
same
why
thing
I want
happened with
to make
Gamergate.
sure we can control the freaking message. That's why I want
Yeah.
I want Ethan to get out there and get on Fox News or get on Breitbart or whatever, anywhere he can, and get ahead of the message, because right now it's just all on Twitter. It's all on YouTube.
Yeah,
But
it's
if we can
hard.
get
I mean, some conservative personality. Jack Posobiec reached out to me 2 days ago now, and started talking to me about this stuff. And then I was trying to get on a show, and I was hoping that was going to happen, and he just kind of backed off of it. And then I saw Cassandra Fairbanks actually posted asking what Comicsgate was this morning, and she was asking for context there. I didn't hear from her. I don't know about you guys. So I think the conservative media, they're so far behind. They're going to wait until it blows up. This is just, unfortunately, conservative media is very reactionary, right? So they'll wait till it blows up, until there's something like really nasty for them to report on, to say, look how bad this thing is that's happening to conservatives. Oh no. And that might be the extent of their coverage at that point, because I've seen how this works, from the inside, from the Federalist, and it's really hard to get out front and actually get the editors at these. I love these guys. I don't want to talk about the people who employ me badly.
Yeah, it's funny
hard.
because a lot of these guys are comics fans. You got Crowder, you got Shapiro, you got the team over at the Blaze. All these guys are comics fans, and it's like, hey, look, we are your people, and this is happening to us, and we are doing something good about it. That is definitely, I mean, $1.5 million in 4 months. It's newsworthy. I mean, it's not earth shattering or anything.
I was the only one who could get an article out about it. It's very
crazy.
It's sad to watch this media, but I don't know. I mean, they're starting to wake up, but it's very slow, and we still have an uphill battle on that front. We just got to be, we got to use social media. All of us, everybody in the chat, just retweet this stuff all the time. Just tell your friends, and it will eventually happen.
Well, that's why I was kind of shaking my head when people on the other stream were talking about downplaying Twitter. That is, if you have a very large audience somewhere, the effect of Twitter may not seem as significant. The effect of Twitter and the ability to communicate like that and network with people is very powerful. And there is not one front of social media that people should take for granted and back off of. For creators, like, if you're busy creating, don't be wasting time arguing with people. Don't do it. Keep it to a minimum. You need to make stuff. But for people who are pundits, maybe, yeah, it's probably a good thing to be fully engaged.
I'm just sad. I'm really sad about the Lemire thing. I mean, that's quite a blow that was
You're
unnecessary.
surprised that a comic book creator is a leftist?
I'm not surprised, but you know, it still sucks.
Yeah.
But
Pick
was
me up
interesting.
off the floor.
The other thing that happened was I was getting into it with Ron Mars right as I was getting off the stream with Ethan.
How's Ron doing?
And you know, Ron hates us.
Oh, Ron couldn't possibly hate me.
But
I'm sure he does if you're Comicsgate.
but you know,
Well,
I hit him hard, and
hold
his
on,
fan.
Edwin made it. He said he must hate me if I'm Comicsgate. Trust me, everybody who would have possibly ever hated me for my politics hated me long before I ever joined Comicsgate.
Oh, sad.
No, I mean, I put everything out there. I've never hidden anything from anyone, and if they were going to hate me from Comicsgate, I was already on that list before we started.
But one of his fans started threatening me, and he actually told his fan to back off and not to harass anyone. And I think that was a positive step. So I don't know. I think it's going to take some time. I'm going to try to work on Ron Mars. I really am, and see if I can just like get him to dialogue. You know, like we're doing right here. You know, if we can just get one creator to dialogue, Edwin, you're trying so hard on this front, and if we can just get one to do it, it'll create a watershed moment, I think.
Well, flat out, anybody who wants to come on and just talk, even if they disagree with me 100%, as long as they're not going to be spewing endless profanities, I'll talk with them, and I will give them as much respect as I have to give another human being.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tony Bedard wants to come on at some point, but I don't know what he's doing in comics anymore.
I don't. Yeah, he's liked a few of my tweets, so I'm not sure, but you know, that's a step. Everybody's a step.
Dan Slott told people not to harass DNC as well. Not all are lost. Yeah. Well,
Sketch Therapy is saying that Ethan is going on the Andrew Klavan show tomorrow. Don't forget, it's the Ben Shapiro channel.
Cool.
Is this something that's paywalled though? This is the thing with like a lot of the Crowder stuff. It's all paywalled.
yeah, that's because YouTube demonetized him.
Yeah. Well, we're facing an uphill battle, guys. You know, I do think this is all politically timed also. You know, Ethan mentioned how it you know, sort of emboldens them when something goes on, and then they seem to lash out in those moments across culture also. I mean, we've had a big lashing out. It's been a couple weeks long too, with you know, Alex Jones getting banned from everything, you know, other people getting banned off Twitter, and other people getting demonetized and banned on YouTube, and then finally the Trump stuff yesterday, and now this. I mean, they're really on a war path, and this is more important to them than just our books and what's happening in comic books. They are trying to shut down us for the 2018 midterm elections. This is all about that. There's nothing else important to them.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. And it's sad.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're not even really that engaged in that. The sad part is our side's really not that engaged in the midterm elections, because it's like, well, what do we have to fight for right now? Not that much. But you know, if they get their way here and they get this like blue wave thing, and they start impeaching and they start getting the IRS, I mean, it's scary stuff that can happen real fast.
It's not going to happen. All this crap, a freaking. How many times in the last 2 years have you heard, you know, there's whatever smoking but gun, or this is going to happen, that's going to happen, Trump's going down, Trump's going. It's like, I got so tired of hearing it, and I'm like, it's like they're so convinced every other day that something is going to get Trump impeached or put in jail or whatever, and it's like, Dude, don't you know the story of the boy who cried wolf? Because I think you totally missed the message.
I think it's true, but I don't want our side to get complacent. Is at the same time.
No, no, no. I think our side is energized to go vote and put more. Gosh, I hate saying Republicans because I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent, but I know which side votes the right way most of the time. Well, at least some of the time.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. People talk about these things like, oh, you're being too tribalist, you're being too this, you're being too that. And here's the reality of the situation. The progressives and the SJWs function as a highly collectivized, highly organized tribe, right? And they have a particular religion, they have their own particular shibboleths. Shibboleth is like this language that identifies them to each other, and they act with coordination and in connection, and they make it impossible for anybody who doesn't reflect and parrot their language and values back to work in any area or domain that they dominate, right? And so people who are coming at you saying, well, Comicsgate is acting too tribally and so forth, you almost need to reject that, because what they're saying, what they're telling you to do is disarm, right? Disarm, disorganized, stop resisting, stop showing this enthusiasm and this energy. Yeah, it's absolutely not about groupthink, but much like Benjamin Franklin said, and I don't want this to sound too much like hyperbole, we must surely hang together because we will surely hang apart.
Yeah, I think I think they are scared, and I think they're scared because they don't want to relinquish a single yard that they've taken. They've taken academia, they've taken media, they've taken entertainment, they've taken publishing, they've taken the newspapers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've taken comic books, and they don't want to relinquish that in any way, shape, or form. Is there a light outside? What the hell? And they see that as few of us as there are, we've made a marked difference already, and it's entirely possible that, you know, if we continue this and we do this right and we use our heads and we act smartly with good business sense, and we don't diverge into little factions and in-house fighting and all that kind of crap. We do this right, we could completely change this industry, and they are terrified of that, because that's what they keep saying we can't do. They're like, oh yeah, sure, you got a little bit of thing, but Marvel still makes $1 billion a year, or I'm like,
today it
first
does.
of all, Marvel does not make $1 billion a year. The entire comic book industry together makes $1 billion a year. So, I mean, yeah, that's still a lot of money, but let's not make it anything bigger than it is. We can't.
That's why it's very important for us not to factionalize, not to break down, not to have infighting. I know there's been a little bit of heated tension from some people in our community in the past few days, and there is a little of that going on. But we really, every time we see something that makes us angry from somebody else within our community, our response should be to dial that down and to say, how can we de-escalate this? How can we bring about peace within our ranks so that we can keep growing this together? That's what's most important right now, because that, divisiveness can hurt this really quickly, and I don't want to see any of that happening.
Yeah.
Well, part of the thing, it has to continue to be fun for people, right?
Yes.
And so, like, when people come in here, they should have fun. They should be uplifted. It should even be recognized, like Handsome Cobra and Nat Denon. Good to see you tonight. This is the whole point of it.
So Nasser's really upset about the Jeff Lemire thing. So Jeff Lemire also tweeted one other thing. He retweeted Philip Hester, who's an artist, and Philip Hester's comment was, and what's funny is they can't they can't even realize the irony in their tweeting these things like this. I can't grasp how someone could love the Marvel Universe, one full of heroes who are in one way or another outcasts, but still who choose to fight for the world, explicitly rejecting them, and come away with even a drop of intolerance in their soul. Now, this is really funny because they're displaying intolerance towards people who are fans, who are smaller creators, who feel outcast, who are blacklisted by the corporation, and they are intolerant of us, and yet they're tweeting this as if we're the people who have the power somehow.
I'd like to talk to Phil. I know Phil, not well, but he's not an SJW, so I don't think he's even left wing.
Yeah,
I'd like to see I might not follow him on Twitter. Was that on Twitter?
Yeah, that was on Twitter.
Okay, I'll look him up. Mark C for $5. Thank you, Mark, so much. Good luck, guys. Good luck, guys. Stay safe through the impending storm. Actually, I think he's talking to you, young man.
Oh, Mark C. Good luck, guys. Stay safe. Oh, yeah, we will. Mark is an artist. While y'all were talking, let me pull up the thing he did because it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
All right. Yeah, Eric's heading there this weekend for the con during the hurricane.
Ooh,
Have a nice hurricane con, guys.
Yeah, he moved his flight back to Saturday though, so he should be okay by then.
How's the path of the hurricane and your location, Edwin? Are you all right?
We have some chance to get. Right now we have about 10% chance, maybe 15% chance to experience some hurricane force winds. But bottom line, the Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. He maketh me to lay down in green pastures. My wife and I will be fine, and we will try and keep our neighbors fine as much as possible too.
The rain shall fall on the just and the unjust alike.
Yes, it shall.
Damn it! Hurricane Con 2018. You're not allowed to listen to that word.
Then why are you saying it?
Put your fingers in your ears. Roasted.
Say,
but much.
Danger alert, bad word.
Oh yeah, let me share this again. Let me share my screen again because Mark, the person who just contributed, he did this drawing. So let's see. Oh.
Clickety click.
You're not allowed to sneeze on people. Why?
Guys.
He sneezed on you. You might
Yeah,
quiet.
so a little project he's thinking of, he hasn't got real far with it yet. He's just thinking about developing his own comic, but it reminded me of an old Pope cover. It just looked kind of
I like that. Yeah.
Phil.
I'm big into ray guns and that sort of vibe. So.
This is one of the things that is so amazing to me about Comicsgate, right? Because every day I have people sending me art. I have people telling me about like all these cool things they're working on. And there are so many creative people, and this is why I want, as much as possible, you know, when we fight and stuff, let's find some resolution. Let's make something that's inviting to good people, so that creative people like this have someone to share it with, right? And so people can come in and appreciate all these amazing things that are being made.
Yeah.
Yeah, but fun little cover, yeah?
Yeah, beautiful stuff.
All right. Am I still sharing or am I off sharing?
Looks like you're off.
Hello.
So thank you, Mark
Yeah.
C.
Yes, thank you. Where to send fan art? Usually, well, there's a Facebook group, Lone Star Squadron.
I swear I joined that, but I'm not getting notifications from it. Hold on.
Oh, really?
Squadron. Oh, maybe I didn't join it. Oh, will I be respectful to rules and members? Maybe.
You better be.
If not, you understand that you will be removed. Fine. You will not be approved until the first 2 questions are answered and will be denied after 2 days if you do not answer them. Come on, man.
Well, Kinsey set it up nice. Fire set up. Yeah. So now some of that I asked her very explicitly. I wanted her to filter out contentious people because the Lone Star Squadron is not meant for brawling and fighting. It's meant for people to have a good time and have some fellowship. Yeah.
This is correct, sir. This is correct.
I reserve the right to be sarcastic, though.
Yeah, sarcasm is fun. Sarcasm is fun.
Sarcasm. That is the coin of the realm. All right. Well, do you want to talk about the topic of the show? It was brought up in the big stream earlier, and I was kind of going back and forth with Yellow Flash about it, and I guess it was just boring Ethan to tears.
I believe that my heart will go on.
If we have any recorders start up tonight, yeah, I cannot promise you that I won't strangle someone. So we're gonna have a safe space from the recorder tonight.
Yeah. I got Mike, are you still going to Dragon Con question? I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I do Dragon Con? I mean, by that time I should have my check, first of all.
Dragon Con is great.
I know. I've done it for the past 5-6 years.
And there's a very large, more conservative group out there, and I can get you hooked up with them and get you involved with them too. So if you are, let me know.
Well, I don't have the money to buy a freaking plane ticket to get there until this Indiegogo money comes in, and it's like taking its sweet ass time. It literally could be
Aloha hour, Mr. Miller.
Sour ass? Oh, no. I mean, it could literally be I couldn't get the money until like the day I'm supposed to leave, so I couldn't even buy a plane ticket because of that. Indiegogo was taking so long to get me my money.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, and dude, there's no security there. There's zero security at Dragon Con. They only check if you have a badge.
The crowd's a little chiller though at Dragon Con than most of these other cons.
Dude, that crowd is left wing.
No way. I mean,
Dragon? Yeah.
You think so?
I mean, maybe there's a lot of conservatives there because it's the South, but there's a lot of lefties there.
Do we have any? All right. So where's the convention actually conducted at?
Downtown.
And
Atlanta.
how many days would?
It's in like 5 different hotels in like 40 different rooms across those hotels, and people just, as long as you have a badge on, you can walk in and out of the hotels and go wherever you want willy nilly. And I mean, I could bring a gun in there and nobody would freaking notice. Unfortunately, some psychotic SJW could bring a gun in there too.
Yeah. I don't think it's to that level yet, Miller. I don't think it's to the level where somebody would pull a gun on you. One of these weirdos might try and swing on you or throw some kind of fluid or something on you. But yeah, I don't think it's to that level yet.
Yeah, well, it wasn't to the bike lock level until it was at the bike lock level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. I totally understand your fears on that. I mean, that's what I was asking for with the Worldcon thing. Was hey, I've got people who want to attack me. Are you guys going to keep me safe? And you saw how that ended up. But Dragon Con does have a better percentage of just kind of normal people. I really promise you that. Than things like our little San Francisco con.
I've been there for the last 5 years. I'm completely familiar with the crowd at Dragon Con.
Yeah, I was actually gonna go to Worldcon with John before they banned him, just because of all the weirdos there.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I have a lot of fans at Dragon Con. I do like going there, and they are giving me 2 tables. I just don't know if I can get it. I don't know. I've been going back and forth on it because I do need to get this here book done that I'm working on. I You see that I drew this whole thing while I was on Ethan's stream, and then I
That's
started
amazing.
inking the last panel.
Yeah, handsome Cobra said he would be security for you. He's another
Oh.
veteran. Yeah.
Now
he's
buy me a
one
plane
of
ticket.
them.
That's an expensive flight from San Diego to Atlanta. Hot Atlanta.
All right. Well, here's the pragmatic question then. I mean, you've still got a lot to do with this book.
Yep. I'm on
Is it
page
gonna-
29.
Is it going to be worth it to when is Dragon Con? Which weekend?
Dragon is August 30th to September 3rd.
Okay. Is it really going to be worth it to take well, it'll wind up being 5 days. You know, would you getting ready to go, getting there, then getting back? It might even wind up being 6 days if you think about it. Is it worth it to lose 5 or 6 days?
I
right now?
always come home on Monday, so I go the day before and then come back on Monday.
Yeah. I don't know. This might be one to miss if you're going to miss one. Maybe next year might be good if you have some Blacklist universe.
Yeah. Well, on top of
materials
that,
in hand.
you know, cons have been just sucking anus. That sounds worse.
Sucking rectal cavity.
Sucking the back hole.
Back hole. Hi, Mike's child in the background.
Mm.
Oh my god. Oh man.
There's so many worse ways to say it. Poor Edwin.
We have one adult.
Yeah,
We have one adult among us.
Mitch came in just in time to experience your vulgarity, and so now Mitch Brightweiser, who if Comicsgate has a gentleman and a scholar, it is probably Mitch Brightweiser has now had to subject himself
Oh, is he in the chat?
to your vulgarities.
I'm gonna go
Yes.
look on Facebook.
I am very surprised Mitch is not disavowed yet.
Mitch, let us know if you want to come in, buddy. Liam, Akashic Soldier, for Australian $2. Skip it and beg for super chat instead. The thing is that it's usually one of my best shows, but even my best shows this year have been down about 50%. So, yeah. It's funny because I think it might be sort of a weather sock, you know, a weather vane for the comics industry as a whole. The fact that sales at comic conventions are going down, you know, that's the new blood. That's if anyone was going to be convinced to buy a comic book because they're a fan of Chris Hemsworth or anybody else, it's going to be one of these guys, one of these kids that goes to a Comic-Con and then, you know, walks past a comic booth and they're like, oh my gosh, there's a Thor, whatever. And instead of just buying a print, they actually buy a comic book. And if those sales are going to go start petering out, then yeah, that might be something to look out for in the rest of the comic book market, because it's already bad enough, our complete lack of growth and expansion. So I don't know. Getting a lot of Fs. I guess we are chugging. Can we shut these down?
What are we shutting down?
Oh, because we were lagging here.
Oh, Mike is my.
I got a new book review.
Let's Liam, Akashic Soldier, again, Australian $5. I've had a second to think. Actually, go and pimp Lone Star like you're doing all the wedding. I'll take that into account as well. Before we get into the webcomics thing, John, why don't you pimp your book to the audience?
Oh, thank you, Mike. I appreciate
real
that.
quick?
Hey, everybody. I am writing Flying Sparks, which is on Indiegogo right now. It's in its last day. I just got one new backer, so I'm going to thank my visible contribution. Jordan, if you're in the chat, thank you very much. Flying Sparks is about a hero and villain in love. It is Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but superhero with kind of the Superman family vibe going on. One part personal drama, one part superhero. It's all ages friendly. It's just bringing back fun comics again in the style that you guys are used to. And eventually I'm going to do a crossover with Lone Star because I want it. And Michael let me. So please back it.
You know, I haven't done this since the store or since the store opened and the campaign ended. I'm going to thank I don't know how many I'm going to thank. I'm going to thank a few of you backers individually. Going back here, Joseph Ramos, my most recent, thank you. Ewerton Lima, thank you. Brett Keel, thank you. Ben Hansen, thank you. Andrew Acosta, Jason A. Remley, TC, those are two good ones. That person bought two slabbed ones. Colin, PMC, Matthew Richardson, Jonathan Rowe, AMJ House, Break All Day, Carrie Green, John Veray, Jem, Leon Wynn, and Ariam Delavan. Thank you all for being my latest batch O backers and bringing me up to $76,324 to date.
Woo.
Yeah, right. I've been doing roughly around 300 a day, so I mean, if this keeps up, I might end up somewhere between 85 and 90, which would be freaking insane, I think, unless I'm doing my math horribly wrong.
Let's take a minute and do something real fast. I'm looking
Yeah.
at the chat, and Zach Hawkins says, "Evening, squatties. Somebody please tell me something good. I'm having a real bad night at work. I've got something good for you. Psalms 25. Unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. O my God, I trust in me. Let me not be ashamed. Let not mine enemies triumph over me." Scrolling down, because I want to get a specific part of it for you. In name's sake, O Lord, pardon mine iniquity, for it is great. What man is he that feareth the Lord? Him shall he teach in the way that he'll choose. His soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. Mine eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he shall pluck my feet out of the net. Turn thee unto me, and have mercy upon me, for I am desolate and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. Bring me out of thy distresses. Something good for you.
Yeah.
You matter, Zach. You matter, and you're made in your Creator's image. And we absolutely care about you here in the chat, here in the Lone Star Squadron.
We need you, bro.
Amen.
You are needed. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to close my door. Because as you well know, my children are all raised in a barn and don't know how to close doors.
No, it's an amazing thing to watch.
I got a new backer. It's anonymous. So if you're in the chat, thank you, anonymous person. And then I got two. Tim, if you're in the chat, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, pump it up. Pump it up.
Cool.
Blacklist Universe. Did you talk to Indiegogo? Not email, not tweak. Talk to Indiegogo. No, I didn't. I don't know how to talk to them. I can only find email contact information. So maybe I should have you do it for me, Sketch. I'll just have you harass them until.
Oh man, can you imagine Sketch chewing on you? I would come up with an answer real fast.
Are we getting Flying Sparks PDF 27 hours from now?
That's a great question. So guys, actually Mike is actually the best person to answer this. So I've got the digital option. You've got a digital option. So it's going to be done. I'm holding it open in case somebody wants to name a character, so I got to not finish the lettering until that closes out. But it'll finish over the weekend. I'll have a PDF over the weekend. Printing is going to take who knows how long though. A couple months. Do I give out the PDF?
It shouldn't take a couple months. I mean, where are you getting it from?
I was
China?
gonna use Print Ninja, yeah. And should I use somebody else?
Well,
I mean,
I don't know what's more important to you, saving a few bucks or getting it into your fans' hands quicker.
I don't know. I mean, the difference is on this campaign where we're at $22,000 for the thing. The difference
Saving a few bucks
is it's $2,000, right? I mean, so that the margin's really tight, right?
Right.
Hey,
Gary.
So the question is, I don't know, but so, I mean, even if I do one that's the more expensive one, it takes 2 to 3 weeks or whatever before I can ship it out. It's still a month before it gets in my fans' hands. So would you give it out the PDF, or would you wait until you're shipping to give out the PDF?
Well, from the perspective of a digital fan, I'd want it quicker. From the perspective of a print fan, I'd feel kind of might feel a little irritated.
What does the chat think?
Yeah, really.
Wait until you get paid. Well, I'll get paid. And that's the only comment so far. I don't know. I don't have a good answer to that.
I'm gonna wait myself.
You are?
Yeah, I want books in hand. At least that way, at least I'll send them out like when I have them in hand and have begun shipping. So at least I know that, you know, some people will have the book. It won't be that much of a difference, you know, time wise. You know, a week difference and 2 months difference that's a big difference.
Let's see. So wait. Let's see. Wait until the hard copy ships. Send it out at the same time.
Yeah.
Wait until shipping. Everybody's saying wait, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until shipping's ready. Chester says he would try to back, but it won't ship to your country. Chester, I've got a second perk for international because I was not doing international originally. It hurt me. It hampered me very badly. And so I added perks just for the books, not for the other tiers. So if you want those, just look for those international tiers for that. Thank you.
Right.
See, there's another comics artist in the chat. Name is Jeff Lafferty. I had him on my show one time. Cool dude. He's doing that Berserkanaut project, and Comicsgate got him funded. And if I remember right, Jeff used to do some work with Marvel, and then he got sane and went and did some construction work for about 15 years. Ran his own contracting company. But now he's got his Indiegogo, and Comicsgate got him funded, and it's a neat little book.
Nice.
Gary
3 more
Shipman.
backers. Wow.
Hello, Mike. How are you doing?
Are you speaking through a pillow?
I'm speaking through a pillow as we speak. No, I'm just kidding. Let me switch my mic out.
Is Rhoda trying to smother you to death as you're streaming?
Oh, that's cool. That's a Packins Land Lone Star crossover.
And Cyberfrog.
Yeah, Red Rooster's up at the top.
Red Rooster.
I'm gonna do
I don't
him
see no
tomorrow.
Red Rooster. I don't see no Red Rooster.
Oh, he's at the top. It's not drawn yet.
Let's see.
I'm trying to get my
nice
mic
work, Gary.
out.
That's pretty.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gary, you like drawing Lone Star, don't you?
I do. It's fun.
And you had Cyberfrog licking his eye. You stole that from me.
I
I
got
did.
4 more contributions. Mike, your guys might be really helping me out right here.
Nice.
We got Jason, we got Jeff, we got Eric, and hold on, one more. We got Chester in the chat, if you're in there. Somebody in the chat was in there. And I got a backer from a Jay Bartlett. So I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much. And I just crossed 23,000. Sweet.
Yeah. Nice.
I can go to bed now.
Is that how it is, Delarose?
How much time you got left?
It's closing tomorrow, but I have a real job. So I actually have a big corporate meeting tomorrow. I can't even probably go on Twitter tomorrow. It's gonna be terrible.
Oh no.
Yeah. So this is my last hurrah for real. But you wanted to talk webcomics, and I like this topic actually.
I do want to talk webcomics because as we were discussing with Yellow Flash and his constant insistence that you can't monetize webcomics. I don't know how I wasn't getting through to him. How's your father asked, what webcomics did you discuss? No, we were just discussing webcomics in general, because I was saying that, you know, the argument was that the comic book industry, Marvel and DC, would be gone in 10 years, right? And I'm like, no, the thing is that there are readers out there, and yeah, the direct market may collapse, or any store that is 100% reliant on comic books may collapse. But like all the comics and stuffs here in San Diego, it's called Comics and Stuff, and the stuff is like a huge part of their income. You know, it's like toys and games and cards and freaking gold coins and stuff, right? But they also sell comics. Boys, stop talking. I can hear you, and I'm trying to think. So either get out or stop talking.
I know that feeling.
I think it depends. I think it depends on the model of the webcomic. And so some comics aren't monetized directly. Some are monetized indirectly. You know.
Okay,
with
but
merchandising and so forth.
this is. We'll get there. We'll get there. My point to him was that comic readers are still in the millions upon millions.
Mm-hmm.
They are, but they're kids. They are, you know, this guy's age. They're my daughter's age. They're reading stuff online for free, webcomics, webtoons. You better not be naked. All right. I always have to worry about this one. Why are you all in here? Jojo, go with Elijah. And so, close the door. Somebody close the door, please, for the love of God.
For the love of God, children, close the door.
So they're out there, and they're reading, and they're playing things. It's just like the games, right? They play Angry Birds. It's free. They play every other popular game, and they're free. But they get paid in microtransactions. They get paid in advertisement. They get paid in other methods. My argument towards would you just let me talk? Towards dude, you're so distracting. It's killing me. Seriously.
This is a whole nother show.
This is my life.
I taught your children that the other day. Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's great. You should get in on it, Milo. It's so great. All right. One of us. One of us. One of us. One of us. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Mike's gonna cry.
Yeah, Mark brought up a great comment. It's like drug dealing. The first taste is free, and of course, we would never portray drug use in a positive light in the Comics Code Authority here. But
Right.
But yes, I think putting up a first issue or putting up a sample or whatever as a web comic as these are being developed gives people some sort of clue as to what they're buying into.
Now, let me give you a better example.
Later, you know?
I mean, web comics. That's not going to work.
No.
I mean, it'll work just as an advertisement, like trying to lure people into buying an entire series because of that. But web comics, as an animal, is day after day after, just like YouTube, right? You build your audience, you build your fan base by being there day after day after day after day after day after day. I was doing my own web comic called Electronic Tigers. I don't even remember how many, 10 years ago. And it was during the first Obama election. Money. for Canadian 279. Your kids are making my wife a fan of your show. Right on. See? So, and I was doing it day after day, right? I'd do it 5 days a week. And then I would communicate with the fans afterwards in the chat. And I got up to 40,000 unique daily visitors within the span of about 8 months. So what you're doing is you're building a fan base. And granted, it's all for free. So it's all front-loaded work. And you're doing this long-term thing that is, you know, making you go broke. So hopefully you have some other means of income. But you're there, you're communicating with your fans. It's just like the same thing with YouTube, except for it's an individual piece of art every day. And you grow that user base. I'm going to show you some actually, maybe I could just hit back on this.
Is your webcomic still up, Mike?
No.
That's sad.
That's a whole nother story.
But now the other one is, though.
Oh, bless this mess. Well, that's on Facebook. That's not really the same thing. So here's Penny Arcade. Penny Arcade is a huge, huge webcomic. Total visits for 1 month, 5.4 million people. They spend an average of 3 minutes, which means all they're doing is going there and reading the daily webcomic, right? Let me see if I can just go back on this. I have this open in my Photoshop. I could have just done. All right, I'll just do this instead. All right, KeenSpot. KeenSpot is not an individual webcomic. It is it's a webcomic site. So it's got like, I don't know, 30, 40 different webcomics on it. But they get 5.2 million viewers in a month. Control-Alt-Delete. This is a singular website with a singular webcomic on it. 2.6 million viewers per month. Average duration 141, which means all they're doing is coming to read the webcomic, right? So I just did those three because I knew them off the top of my head. And so what you're doing over the years is you're building up this massive, massive fan base, just like we're doing on YouTube. And at whatever point when you want to convert that fan base into sales, why can't I find my chat? Oh, I have my chat up here. You know, if you've got 5 million fans and you convert 1% of them to actual dollar sales, you're golden. I mean, Chris Crosby owns KeenSpot, and he tells me that almost all of his sales are graphic novel, like trade paperbacks. So they're collections of these books that he publishes based on the webcomics. So you build up this audience, and then, you know, when you have that many, and then some of them want to buy them, they're dropping $40 a pop on these freaking trades. And you know, Chris does very well. But some of these guys that have their own book and you know, that's my whole point, is there are readers out there of comic books, and they number in the millions. Millions. There's only like 1.5 to 2 million comic book readers that walk into freaking comic book stores every Wednesday, right? There's not that many of us left. We've all left the hobby. But people buying and reading comics, they number probably, there's probably 10 times at least as many comic readers who've never walked into a comic book store. And we have to be able to find a way to reach them, get them, and bring them into this space, because the DM, it may be dying. It may be dead in 10 years. I don't know. But comic books themselves will not be.
I agree. And I like that webcomic model. Flying Spark started out as a webcomic also. I was trying to do this as a webcomic. I had old art iteration, which was not pro. I haven't shown anybody this. Should I show people my not pro old iteration of Flying Sparks?
Sure.
It's amazing.
As long as it doesn't lose you sales.
Hopefully, it doesn't lose me sales. So I ran it as a webcomic, and it was just with an artist who I don't think he's a pro. I don't know what he's doing now, but he quit after a while. He wanted something a lot darker than I was going for, and I was just making you know, a fun superhero story. And a lot of these indie guys really don't want to do fun superhero stories. I don't know why. Since that's what people want to buy. What did I do with it though?
And you may be wondering how I got 40,000 daily unique users in 8 months, right?
I got 3,000. So, but I was doing it weekly, and I was posting weekly, so that might have to do with it.
It might, but I marketed. I designed the book for the space. I knew that video game related titles, you know, like Control Alt Delete, Penny and Aggie, or not Penny and Aggie, Control Alt Delete, Control Player versus Player, and Sore Thumbs, Penny Arcade. All the big ones were video game related, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this video game related. So I had video game related. I had a hot chick. I had, you know, I like laid it out, and then I had conservative, leftist. And we just designed this whole thing. My partner and I designed it for the express purpose of reaching the webcomics audience. And then I did crossovers with like Sore Thumbs, with Menage a Trois.
Oh, that's
right,
big.
Right. And at the time there was an advertising portal called Project Wonderful, which all the webcomics were using.
Yep, I used it.
Yeah, and I used the hell out of that. I probably spent I don't know. I probably spent at least $100 a month just pushing it on all across the web comics sphere. You know, because I intended on doing this. You know, I study markets before I get into them. I don't know if you noticed that about me, but yeah. So I went into that, and you know, dropping that book was probably one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my career. But you know, you never look back, right?
Yeah.
Because that probably would have been a pretty big title by now.
You dropped a lot of money into that, into Project Wonderful then.
Yeah. And then I turned around, and you know I was doing this all for free for a long time. I had some ads up on the space, and I would just take the ad money I got, turn it back around, put it back into Project Wonderful. But then when when it came, I was working for another company at the time, and they were paying me quarterly, and then the last check didn't come in, and I was like, oh crap! So I was out of money, so I reached out to my audience, and I'm like, hey, I'll send you a PDF. I'll do commissions. I'll do, I set up all these different things for tier. Man, they dropped like, I think it was like $7,000 on me, just in that kind of an outreach of, you can buy the PDF of all the strips so far, and that kind of stuff. And I didn't take that as like, oh yeah, I can create this kind of a model where I can sell stuff and blah 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 blah, which I should have been, because it wasn't too long after that we ended up shutting it down. But it was just proof of the model that a fan base like these guys, when they're dropping their super chats, it's the same model, right?
Yeah.
Except I'm not sitting here saying, well, actually, I am sitting here saying I need to save my house, but that's beside the point. The fans will support. There are true, honest to God patrons among any fan base, and it's webcomics can monetize. So
here was my original artist that I did as a webcomic. Here, how do I screen share? Figured out how to do this.
Upper left hand corner, you see the little little.
So I can't find any of the pages, but here's the art level that it used to be when I started. So it was not quite the same thing in terms of, he didn't quite have the proportions and all that right. But this is where I started out. I can't find the pages. I'm very sad about that. It's there's another one. Yeah, look at that. Not very good composition colors wise. That's a lot of clash, a lot of clashing colors right there. But yeah, this is how it started. And I
So you
just
gave this one to John, and you said, "Hey, do a better version of this."
John, can you beat this?
Can you make it so it doesn't look like someone off camera is holding her cape up?
Yeah.
Well, now even the pre-Morales or the pre-Malin cover was good too, though.
Yeah,
Hold
and
it, hold it
that'll
slow.
be on the
Hold it slow,
interior.
stop.
Oop.
Hold it still.
Oh, you want it back? Oh, Edwin's got it.
Do you want me to share mine?
I've got an actual image of that I can just pull up. So
Do
Okay.
you?
I can make that a little easier. TIFF. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. So I'll just pull that up on my screen here. And this will be on the interior, guys. So I put I'm calling them chapter covers instead of issues. So so I got this done to try to sell as a sort of graphic novel before, and I printed out just 20 copies of it. Edwin's got one of them. And
why does everyone? Why do all of them have the cape being held off camera?
held up? Yeah, it didn't. I don't know. But yes,
odd.
now I'm never going to be able to unsee that, Mike. I have a piece.
She looks like she's looking at somebody that's grabbed her cape.
I have a
What are
piece
you
of
doing? Let go of my cape.
I have a piece of. Oh, I unplugged my speakers. I have a piece of Terry Moore original art, Mike. You're gonna die. I'm gonna show you this.
All right, hold on. Sierra Whiskey for $1.99. Mike, has anyone made any purchases on your Amazon? Not that I'm aware of. And I certainly haven't gotten anything delivered. So.
All right, I'm gonna show you guys Terry Moore original art, and it's kind of the same thing. So this is on my wall here. Terry Moore did this mermaid for me, and if you look, it's kind of the same thing as the. It looks like. If you look at just like how long this tail would have to be to make this pose, it actually looks more like she's holding another mermaid underwater and like trying to drown them. So yeah, little perspective
Ariel?
issues, right?
Is that supposed to be Ariel?
No, it was just a
drowning
random
one of her
mermaid
sisters.
ager. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, these little errors happen in art all the time, and that's the beauty of art, right?
No capes, Jiminy Cricket says. Gary, are you there?
I am here. I'm getting an education.
Why aren't you saying anything?
I'm just listening. I think everything that you were saying was very fascinating about the web comics and everything. I don't have any experience with that at all. So very interesting what you went through there.
Alrighty then.
Every time I come on, I just listen and I hear everything that you.
Would
You know you can
experienced and
listen
explored.
without coming on.
I know. I would.
Here's the-
I just go and do my own stuff. You know what I mean? Or I
Here's
go
the
to
rational
stuff on my
question then.
website.
Here's the rational question then, Mike. Would it be worth it to have a Blacklist Universe site where you dropped a couple of panels a week? How as a web only thing, maybe alternative story, maybe bits and pieces, but have something ongoing as a web comic to reinforce Blacklist Universe, and then lead people to Lone Star, lead people to Godsword, lead people to Six Gun Samurai, or what becomes. Would it be worth the extra work to do a panel or two a week?
I think as a company, as I grow, I could farm that out to someone else, and definitely I would want to build some sort of a web comics presence, maybe publish it across multiple platforms, just to do the outreach to get to those other. And that's the thing is, like, if you're going to someplace like Webtoons. Actually, you know what? One of my characters is called FPS, which does not stand for first person shooter, although you are led to believe it does. That is sort of a tailor-made product or IP for the webcomics video game type audience. So it might be a good idea for that particular project to be drawn in the Injustice style, wherein, like, you know, I kind of do this now here in case I ever want to do these as a webcomic. I will generally bisect the page this way. That way, when you're on screen, you could do one page and then another page. And that's how we did Injustice as a digital comic first. Doing that particular project to bring people, this always scares me, to bring people into the Blacklist universe from the webcomics universe, from the digital comics universe, you know, and just kind of, we need to do outreach to get those people in. I can't do it like first thing. The first thing I do can't be that, because that is a process that is going to take years and years and years of cultivating that audience. You can't just reach out and grab them and think you're going to bring them all in, right? You have to cultivate them. You gotta coax them in a little bit. You know, it's going to take a lot of time. And yeah, I think doing a webcomics first project as one of the Blacklist books, and then also, you know, making it available as a trade paperback or as a print comic is a very much something I need to do as part of the long-term plan. Liam, for Australian $2, who is the cape holder and why is he always off panel? I'll leave that to you, John.
There is so Meta Girl is my main character. There is a OP flying character, Meta Man. In theory, it could be him, you know, trying to make her look a little more epic for the camera. So he's trying to help her out.
Legit answer. Legit answer. What's up, Edwin? You look like you're in deep thought.
No.
Thoughts. Edwin Handy.
No, I was just thinking more about the more about using the webcomic to drive stuff, tie stuff together. Just thinking about maybe like a simplified style that might be acceptable, entertaining, and then just wouldn't require the same amount of effort as like a corresponding comic book page. Yeah. When you did when you did some of the webcomic stuff before, did you work all digital or were you going mixed mode?
No, it was all hand drawn, but I would cut and paste stuff and make my life easier. Did you ever see any of that?
Well, I saw some of the Bless This Mess. I didn't see any of the other stuff.
Wait, let me see if I can find some. Because it was very political. Let me see if I even have any on this computer.
But I think stuff like that, the sooner it can get going, the sooner it drives stuff. It could drive people back in.
Right.
You
guys talk amongst yourselves while I'm searching.
Well, no, I was thinking with your next Kickstarter or with your next Indiegogo, that might be an interesting perk to add. So many panels of a webcomic, right? Like maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 months of a weekly webcomic. That could be a tier, and the reason I like something like that is that gives somebody an interim deliverable while they're waiting for a book to be printed. Yeah, I understand it's an additional thing that you'll have to generate, but you'll get the money before you have to start generating it, right? So why not?
That'd be better for like Patreon than like a.
Well, no. Listen to what I'm saying again, right? And so maybe you figure out that your break-even point for your book is 20,000, right? And then you have a 30,000 or whatever stretch goal. You got to do the math on this and figure it out for a weekly web comic for about 3 months, right? Here's the thing: you don't start that web comic till you get the Kickstarter money, right? Now, from the time you get your Kickstarter money, from the time you close your store, from the time your campaign ends, for most people, there's going to be at least a 3-month delay before somebody has a book in hand, right? So by having a product like a web comic, by having a product like a web comic, somebody's going to have something delivered to them every week while they're waiting for the book, right? So you don't have this, this is one of the things that I think is slowing us down a little bit now is the delay between,
Deliverables. Yeah.
yeah, the deliverables.
Definitely.
And so this is like an interim solution. They want me to say this again. So what I'm postulating here, if it makes sense for certain people, is to have a stretch goal on Indiegogo campaigns for a web comic deliverable, some sort of digital deliverable, right? And so that even though it might be a couple months before you get your physical comic, that you'll get something related to the story or the product, and you'll get something new every week. You don't have to wait. And it will tell you a story, it will entertain you, and then it will still persist after the campaign is over, right? And so you're financing something that will have immediate and ongoing value, right? And you can capture some value for this through by making it a stretch goal.
All right.
What do y'all think about that, Chad? Is that even a viable squadron? Do you think that's even a viable option? Something that anybody would, that way you could have some story while you're waiting for the primary deliverable.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I can't seem to find my own comic strip, so sorry. Never mind.
But yes, that's
yeah.
what I was deep in thought about.
Yeah. So Liam for Australian $5. John, this is for you. Don't lie to us. What is the true identity of the cape holder? What are you hiding?
It's Cecil. I mean, we already determined this in the chat.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Gosh dang it. Could you close the door, please? I got a super chat for every time I said that. I swear I'd be rich.
Did we miss a super chat earlier?
I don't think so.
Okay, no, I think that's right. That was Liam's. Sorry.
People are saying to be quiet because Gary's talking.
Yeah, that's the joke that Gary is just.
Do you want me to tell you a story?
Actually, you're gonna have to wait on the story because Chester has signaled for the call of the Lone Star Squadron. All right. Have you been here for this, Gary?
I've heard this. I've had my ears blown out.
Okay, so take off your headphones.
Everybody crank up your speakers. Full volume.
I'm taking my headphones off.
Turn your speakers down. I'm not even kidding. I'm not exaggerating. We have blown speakers. I'm going to give you a 5-second warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lone Star Squadron! Ho! Salute to the Lone Star Squadron.
You got some lungs on you, Edwin.
All right. This guy and his lungs.
There were sparks coming out of my headphones.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea at all, Edwin. I would like to get stuff into people's hands. I mean, I'm always liking to show what I'm working on, but I think that, yeah, maybe it would have to be something tangential. I could have been I could have made it a stretch goal for to start doing pages for Nuclear Family. Whoa,
Yep.
Liam again. Liam is throwing all the money at me. Liam, $10 Australian. In all seriousness, Mike, that is my model, hence my delay. I want to make mini comics to be released between each book. I am releasing an 8-page sample story on the Indiegogo itself as a freebie. Fantastic. I've got 10 pages up on Indiegogo for people to see. If you haven't been to my Indiegogo, it is at LONESTARcomic.com. Please go there and spend all your monies. Thanks, Liam. I appreciate it. And Brad Noble, $2. Gary, tell John to keep it down.
John, could you please keep it down? We're trying to have a stream here, and you keep interrupting on the chat. Okay, so just calm yourself, please.
I'll try.
Try harder, John.
Oh,
Try harder.
John is actually in the. I thought you meant somebody in the chat. My apologies.
Well, I mean,
Calm down, John. I thought it was another John. I'm
oh,
totally into this.
there are two Johns. There are two Johns with no H in Comicsgate that are, creators here.
What's
So-
up with the no H, man?
Because and the H is
Come on.
superfluous. It's superfluous.
Come on. Why?
What do
Why
you?
is that super?
We're not John. Just John.
You're not Johan.
Johan.
That's the breath of God.
The H.
The H. Yeah. Like Abram and Abraham.
Jahan.
Yeah, who I was gonna say might also should consider doing a web comic while they're working on whatever they're working on, and that's Mr. Gary Shipman.
Yes. Gary Shipman, are you working on a webcomic?
No, I don't.
What
know
happened to
how.
your webcomic? Little Creatures or whatever it was called.
That was a web comic.
Wasn't it?
It's just a comic. I don't know. I don't know how to do web comics. Don't you have to have a site or something to put them on, or where do you do it?
Oh, you mean like a site to host it? I don't know. I do mine on Facebook.
So how would they get you?
It's just so
signed
easy
for
on
it?
Facebook. Actually, you could do it on Patreon, and then people could also
Yeah, you
tip
could pay. You could paywall it on Patreon. It's not a bad idea.
But when you did it, Mike, on Facebook, was it a free web comic?
My Bless This Mess is free on Facebook. Yeah,
Okay, well, yeah. Okay.
I don't make
I
anything.
guess
on that.
it is easy. It is easy to do a free one.
It is easy to do a free one. Yeah, I have a Patreon account. I just never hardly ever post anything on it.
Well, the whole thing though is so it would need to drive towards something. So it needs to be entertaining in of itself, right?
Mhm.
But there's a couple of ways you can. Now here I'm talking to Gary. It could be the initial panels in a Pack and Land story that would then get included in a comic book. But if you're doing it in a physical method, right? So you've got physical pages that you're then scanning in. If there's enough support for your webcomic and it has enough popularity, you would probably find fans that wanted to purchase the physical drawings from you.
Okay,
And so
so
there's
basically
different-
it's offer it for free digitally, but then make the actual physical artwork available for sale.
Yes, and then maybe
Okay.
maybe a final physical compilation. There's various ways to do it. But
There's many
since-
ways to gut a cat.
Yeah.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Gut a cat.
Is
Skin
that
a cat.
really what we're trying to do? Is that the goal here in comics, to gut cats? I don't see the connection. I just
It's all about snapping necks and cashing checks, Mr. Shipman.
all right.
As a
Always-
stretch goal, I could make all of my available Bless This Mess strips available as a PDF. That's probably not.
People
think
want to
I
read it.
shouldn't.
People want to read it.
People want to read it.
I want to read it.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Facebook.
It is?
It's just a pain in the butt to go through because it's on Facebook instead of in a
Yeah.
PDF. You know.
Yeah, it's hard to navigate from thing to thing.
Yeah, I want
Yeah,
to
some
PDF.
And last night we did a read through of one of his complete comic books. We did a complete read through of Six Gun
Six Gun
Samurai.
Samurai.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Mike, you're going to do that one next, right?
Six Gun.
Yeah.
Thinking about it. The chat seemed to like it. Haven't had a lot of response in the comment section after the fact, but I think it's worth the try. I mean, I really don't. I just, well, I don't want to do it to the point where, oh, geez, I made enough to print it and ship it, because then it's just sucking up my time.
Yeah.
But if it made enough where I could actually afford to like get the next one going,
You could only offer a digital reward and just have a PDF, and it doesn't take much time, right?
oh, yeah, that's true.
And then you can.
Except it's
here's-
already
here's-
digital. It's
here's how you can
digital on
do it.
Comicsology already.
But somebody will buy it. Oh, it is? Okay. But somebody will buy it this way.
Gotcha.
And the other thing you could do is I could hook you up with Vox Day. He can get you on the no. Okay. All right. Just checking.
I find Comicsology a pain to upload content.
Yes. Comicsology is a pain to upload content. I actually had Brett get all my like prep all the books for Comicsology. Brett
Oh,
Burner.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to pay him. But you know, it was
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
what? That's disgusting.
Oh, that
Gary.
That doesn't
Oh my
apply.
goodness.
That doesn't apply in this context.
Jiminy Cricket says, I'd rather see Nuclear Family, Godsword, and the Imaginaries before Six Gun Samurai. But Six Gun Samurai is done. All I have to do is make it available. Beowulf, yeah, the read through of Six Gun was last night. You can check it out if you want. Just go to last night's thread. But it's getting a little wee past an hour. We're about a half an hour past an hour, I think. So, John, any last pitches?
Yeah, this is it. This is the last night for Flying Sparks. I can't be on when for tomorrow. I'll do a quick Periscope in the morning. So please tell your friends. Please tomorrow just post my link for Flying Sparks everywhere if you've already backed it. I need your help to push this. I'd love to get it to 25,000 so we can get character profiles done of the main characters, which is my next stretch goal. And we're getting very close to that. So I think we can do that. So please back it if you haven't, and share it tomorrow. I appreciate it. Mike, thank you for letting me be on your platform and talk about
Absolutely,
this.
man. Yeah, Chester just put the link to Flying Sparks up in the
Cool.
chat. I will try to remember to drop it in the description after the fact, because I usually get around 1,000 views total on these things. So that might help over the next 24 hours.
Cool.
Gary, would you like to say anything?
I would just like to say thank you for being my friend, Mike, and for all of your wisdom.
And the check's in the
gonna-
mail, right?
Yeah. Also, I'm going to do some Google searches on how to skin a cat.
Good night, everyone, from me, and I will let Edwin take it away.
All right, so we're in very interesting times. We have an amazing community. In every day, in every way, you have a chance to be an excellent representative of yourself in the community. So what I would like for you to do, or what I ask for you to do, is to treat the people around you with as much respect and kindness as you're capable of, and be the best version of yourself that you can be, so that wherever you're at, the world is a better place because you're there. We wish you good night and aloha.
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 Lone Star Squadron.
Aloha.
Dismissed.
Dismissed.